Management says it was a financial decision to close, but as 10 News investigative reporter Grace King uncovered, the home's problems go beyond the money.
There was no happiness. It was just depression.
Doris Hager watched her son slip away under the sagging roofline of this cerebral palsy home.
I tried to get him to come home to live with me, and he says, "No, Mom, I have flown the nest. I'm not coming back. I want to be with people like me."
Doris couldn't help but worry if her son would be okay.
I would go over there, and there'd be a big hole in the ceiling. The refrigerators, I would go, and sometimes they were bare. Every time they took a shower, water would come out in the hallway.
10 News obtained inspection records on the Fountain City home from the Tennessee Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. Those records show those concerns were just the start. All 6 people interviewed during a joint investigation with Adult Protective Services told inspectors they were depressed and had anxiety because of the current state of the home.
It's an older home. There are certainly repairs to be made.
All 6 said they wanted to move because it was dangerous. The state said management needed to take immediate action.
We have an annual inspection from a couple of different groups just to make sure it's still a safe place. And we do have some issues. We have some repair issues, but that was not a part of, I've heard people say it was condemned. It wasn't condemned. There's nothing like that.
We spoke with Executive Director Angela Jones the day the home closed. At the time, she said there wasn't a state investigation.
Have state officials investigated this home at all?
Investigated.
Have they come and asked questions about the standard of care, building conditions?
Only to the extent that they do their annual inspection anyway. So not to my knowledge. I mean, if they have, then no one's contacted me specifically for those concerns.
She did not respond to our additional questions once we obtained the state investigative file. Inspection reports from the Knoxville Fire Marshal's office show on July 28th, the property didn't comply with the applicable life safety code requirements. Inspectors wrote the state has concern for resident safety due to an apparent lack of structural maintenance. They flagged numerous sections where the ceiling is sagging and might fall at any time, as well as other safety hazards. The fire marshal's office referred the property to codes enforcement. The city then gave the facility 120 days to fix a dozen violations.
It just slowly went downhill.
Doris Hager heard from Angela Jones just 2 weeks after the city's letter.
She told me on the phone, and then she sent me a letter that they would be closing the facility down and they would have to be relocated.
The state says Angela Jones informed them she would close the home after she was presented with the issues identified by codes and the fire marshal. No further action was taken because she submitted the paperwork to do so. Jones told us on September 7th the decision to close was strictly financial.
It's not a program that's been financially viable for a while. We've tried to figure out ways to make that work, but without full occupancy, it doesn't work well.
Hager wishes the Cerebral Palsy Housing Corporation would have repaired the home to keep her son and his community together.
When you are taken away from people that you've lived with for years and your girlfriend, it was really hard.
Hard, but worth it. Hager says she's seen happiness again.
He's getting his room all fixed up, and he's really starting to get happy again. He's my Christopher again.
Grace King on that story. Despite our ongoing efforts, our 10 News investigative team has been unable to reach that center's executive director for comment.
Right now on WBIR.com, you can find that full state investigation, what inspectors found and why they say the house was not safe.